Hello, podcast. This is P.S. Garrick podcast. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. I said hello, podcast. All right, I don't. Here, look at you
Hey.
smile. Oh yeah, keep going.
Hey, baby, I heard you left our podcast, but we want you back, baby. This is the breakdown in the middle of the song. That was a smooth R&B song, right? Like,
Hello, Dolly.
no, oh, it was
From
hello.
a
Oh, no, I've never heard
musical.
that song. No, what?
Hello, Dolly. I was
Never
doing
heard of
Hello,
it.
Dolly. It's a.
You mean like the
it's a
clone sheep?
It's a song
The
sung
clone
by
sheep?
Satchmo by Louis Armstrong.
Oh, Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Hello. There's a whole airport named after him.
Named Hello Dolly? Is that in Sevierville? Where is that?
Yeah. Airport. Yeah. You all right now? Are you putting me on? Do you not know?
No, I do.
The song,
No,
Hello,
absolutely.
Dolly?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I was.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on,
that was a
everybody knows.
bit. That was a bit for the podcast.
Everybody knows Hello, Dolly.
Yeah. No, that was.
Isn't that Wally? Doesn't Wally love?
I think that's
Hello,
one of his
Dolly?
things. Yeah, that's like his deal. You know what I love though?
What?
Hello, Jerry. You remember from Seinfeld?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, like you remember Newman would always say that.
You know what I like?
Yeah.
Hello, baby. This is the Big Bopper speaking.
Chantilly lace and a pretty face and a ponytail and something else and lots of things. Yeah.
Wow, you have a lot of Chantilly lace in the
A
pocket.
lot of that was made up. I was improvising a lot of that. I think it's just like Chantilly lace and a pretty face and maybe a ponytail. I mean, the sad thing is the day the music died, I mean, it still affects all of us. So, like my Big Bopper stuff isn't where Ben, this is amazing. And this is what people tune into Quest, the adventure game podcast, where I'm Jess,
Ben.
he's Ben. Yeah. The other day I was talking to my dad on the phone and just sort of apropos of nothing. He says,
right.
Earlier today, I was reading up on the day the music died. And
seems like something an old man would do.
That's right, because I mean, for him, that's probably like
that's probably like probably like yesterday.
That's right. That's exactly right. And he like wanted to talk about it, and I broke out a lot of quality Big Bopper humor that I think he thought was all just being like improvised on the spot, and didn't realize I've been workshopping Big Bopper humor for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah,
but it killed with that audience of one. I mean, not like that plane, but
which killed an audience of 4. Oh no! Dear Quest, the Adventure Game Podcast, I can't believe that you made light of the day the music died.
It's me, Big Bopper the Fourth. I've got concerns about this.
Wouldn't you be Little Bopper the Third?
Obviously,
was each subsequent Bopper bigger than the last?
Maybe it was his father was named Big Bop. He was Big Bopper, and his son was Big Bopist.
Big Bopperman.
It's me, Bib Bopperman.
Bib
Bopperman.
That George Lucas was gonna put that in like a Star Wars.
It's me, Senator Bib Bopperman.
I have a lot to say about trade.
The Trade Federation and tariffs and intergalactic commerce. It's me, Bip Bopperman.
Yay!
So yeah, this is a podcast about adventure games. And Ben, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. I've got. I'm torn between 2 worlds right now.
Man, that's tough.
Torn between 2 worlds. You want to know the 2 worlds I'm in?
Yes.
I'm torn between.
Yes, please.
The satisfaction of having ate a great burrito and the exhaustion of having ate a great burrito. And when I say a great burrito, I really ate two.
2 burritos. Are these like
Well, these are burritos I made at home. It's like
yeah,
I'm not having like
you had like 2 Chipotles. Like
yeah.
yeah.
Though they were pretty sizable because I made all the burrito shit yesterday, and then
Mhm.
I heated it all up in a bowl. And when I made like the first burrito, I was like, this is there's enough in this bowl for two. So it was
See, I really
fine.
like the second burrito, especially if it's a little more shell than the first one, because I've run through a lot of my toppings. Like the second
Mm.
burrito or last taco has a certain appeal when it's now shell heavy.
Well, this was the crazy thing is that normally that is the case. Normally that was the case, but with this second burrito, I miscalculated and there was way more in the
Oh.
bowl. And I was
Oh.
like, and I'm not going to put it back in the fridge. I'm going to eat all
No. Yes.
I heated up. And I want to be clear. There's like 5 days of burrito
Wow.
in this burrito. This
Ben,
is the
I
problem.
have to know what was in the burrito right now.
So, okay. So, this is shredded chicken.
Yes, yes.
We started with some garlic and cinnamon and cumin.
Mm.
Then we added some of the chili peppers and adobo, which I'm
I was
going
hoping
to,
that was in there. I was hoping this was
of
going to be
course,
adobo chicken. Yes, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. The some tomato sauce, like those little Goya cans, those little Goya
Mhm.
cans
Mhm.
of tomato sauce. Some of that. Um, then of course, we add the chicken, a little chicken broth,
Mhm.
and we instant pot that fucker. We pressurize it, then we shred that shit up. We destroy that chicken,
Take that.
and then this is what the recipe called for. It called for a potato masher to the chicken, just like
Man.
mash, 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 like fucking shred that shit up.
Yeah.
Then
Chickens have had too good too long.
yeah. Yeah, factory chickens tend to have a really easy life.
Oh, look who has a factory job. You don't have to brag about it, chickens.
Um, uh, 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 it- uh, then so we have some refried pinto beans, which I didn't know. Like this had like the fun texture. It had the fun texture. It wasn't like that full shorp. You saw the beans in it, which is fun.
Okay.
Some of the ranch like the ranchero cream or crema, like
Mhm.
the thinner sour
Yeah,
cream,
yeah.
some cotija,
Yes, gotta have that.
some rice, some avocado, and then some mango habanero salsa.
And then top it with classic Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. And then, yeah. And then that's the burrito. And then yesterday I didn't do this today, but I will do it tomorrow because there's a lot of this shit left. I bought some extremely ripe plantains and I'm
Oh.
like slow pan, like crisping up uh plantain discs, and that's the side is some little plantain discs because I
Oh,
fucking love.
man.
And so what I do with those plantains is I take them, they I cook them in oil. I get them like golden, but often I overcook them, they're a little black, that's fine. And then I squeeze a lime, and then this is where everybody's going to sign off.
Okay.
Everybody's going to
Careful.
sign off here. Add a little Kewpie. Add a little of the Kewpie
Mm.
mayo to the
You have intrigued me. This would not be my first choice, but I'd like to know more.
I add a little of the Kewpie mayo to the the
Mhm.
plantains with like the sautéed plantains
That makes
with lime
sense.
on them,
Mhm.
and it adds like a little bit, like it plays up like the savory, and then it gives it a nice little umami mouthfeel.
Yeah. Can I tell
So
you, Ben, when you
yeah.
started describing this burrito, the first thing I thought was, gosh, I hope there are plantains connected with this in some way. And that's like, I'm not going to say that out loud, because surely Ben has not added plantains in any form inside or outside this burrito. And it just makes me happy to know that, like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking plantains, you're thinking plantains.
Oh, I'm
Somewhere we're
always
staring
thinking.
up
Yeah.
at the same stars, thinking about plantains. It it's just amazing. Like, there's a arepa restaurant in
Oh.
Cincinnati that I love. It's a Colombian
Oh.
arepa place.
Oh, I'll
And
fuck up some of those.
oh
Oof.
God, they have what they call their great arepa. And let me tell you, it's
Mhm.
the perfect arepa shell. They do like steak, chicken, chorizo,
Oh, yeah.
black beans, cheese, and they put fried sauteed plantains into the
Oh,
arepa with it. And it is like, you take a bite and it is the most savory bite of heaven imaginable. It is such an amazing restaurant.
yeah. That
I get
sounds wonderful. I
I
was
go to Cincinnati, I
actually
have to eat there.
you're giving me all the hottest Cincinnati
I mean,
recommendations.
it's my
These
backyard for good restaurants. Are you looking at the arepa place now?
No, I'm
Mm,
looking. You could tell because we have our cameras on. You could tell like my face is white. I'm looking at
yeah,
not
I could
our.
I could see a
Um,
picture of arepas reflected in your eyes. Yes.
I'm trying to find the name of. There's this place here in Chicago, which is not is what that's Venezuelan, right?
I think this place is a Colombian
Or
arepa
Colombian.
place. Well, yeah, I guess now that I'm at their website, they say Colombian and Venezuelan. We'll say,
Yeah, I would.
uh,
I
yeah,
because I think those are
more
like
canonically, maybe. Yeah,
I believe that they are Venezuelan, but I
yeah.
am not. I'm not a
Uh,
scholar of
they
this.
call it the Colombian version of a grilled cheese on their website.
But there's this wonderful place here in Chicago called Irazu, which is Costa Rican,
Ah,
and they uh they're the way that they cook a ripe plantain is like there's no other place that I've had, and I'm sure there are, like I'm just saying
mm-hmm.
that I've been to that have cooked a plantain so perfectly where it's a little bit crispy on the outside and then entirely nice and soft, like kind of
Yeah.
banana-y and sweet on the
Not
inside.
mushy, but in a good way.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
yeah, and like so you have like that mix of textures, and they've had, and the last time I had it, it wasn't as good, but the first couple times their vegetarian burrito was plantain forward.
Oh, that's right up my alley. Yeah.
And so I would always get the
Mhm.
vegetarian burrito because it was just like a burrito with all
Mhm.
the burrito shit in it, and the protein, which a plantain is not a protein, um, was a plantain, and it had like that wonderful like kind of that wonderful texture, that very mellow sweetness.
Yeah.
It was
Where
absolutely
it's almost starting to
wonderful.
like caramelize on the outside.
Oh yes,
Oh yeah.
yes,
I mean,
yes,
oh
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Now, I mean, you and I are both Puerto Rico guys,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
love Puerto Rico, and
Yeah.
I have to say, my favorite thing about going to Puerto Rico is just getting my hands on as many plantains at every meal as I possibly can.
Have
Just
I?
every form, tostones, just a straight up, like you said, sort of, nice golden baked,
Mm,
sort of sauteed, caramelized, any form. I'll eat a plantain. I'll be happy. Mofongo. Oh
yeah,
my God.
mofongo is excellent.
Mofongo. Oh,
Have
mash up
you?
those plantains. Put them with some lard.
Did I tell you about the Chicago Puerto Rican specialty of burritos, which I'm
I don't
probably
know if you did.
so an burrito, which I'm adding like a little accent at the end. I might be fucking that up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
apologies. I studied French,
Oh
and
man, we just
I
got a
can't
bunch of
speak that
emails about
either.
this already. I don't even know how they've heard it yet.
But burrito is a steak sandwich where the bread is thinly sliced and pressed down and fried in plantain.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Hey Ben. I'll have a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich. Have you ever seen Fletch?
No.
It stars Chevy Chase.
I'm not familiar with his oeuvre.
Oh, not you haven't enjoyed the Canon? as we call it. Those of us who are,
maybe one day
in film studies.
Maybe one day I'll dedicate my life to watching all of the Chevy Chase films and television programs.
But not today.
Until that day.
Yeah.
I gotta talk about adventures. I gotta talk about what I've been playing.
Well, let me ask you a question, Ben.
Yeah.
What have you been playing?
Oh, I've been playing the game Ball X Pit. You've seen this, right?
No.
Ball X Pit.
Again,
Pit?
I feel like this is you're punking me. Where's Ashton Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher.
I always thought it was Kutcher.
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 Ashton Kutcher.
Hot Couture. See, I said French.
Haute couture. Yes. I'm now looking at it, though. Ball X Pit. This looks like something I would expect for what you've been playing.
Yeah. This
is
is
like things are bouncing everywhere.
It is a survivors style game, an auto shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Crossed with Breakout.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. It's fine. Like, it's doing well. It's selling like extremely well. I've like all the freaks that love this type of game are playing it. And so I've been playing it and I'm having a good time. Like, I'm getting engaged with it. But I'm going to tell you right now, Jess, when I'm done with it, I feel empty.
Wow. Wow.
You know what? I feel like I have the feeling of, you tell me if you're familiar with this feeling or not. Maybe you're not. But when I was in college, the student union on like Friday nights and Saturday nights, they would have like a late night menu of like little snackies, right? Like that they, and it'd be like fries and chicken tenders and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But what I would always order, or I would often order, is the mozzarella sticks. And it was usually like five or six. And like, this was like my arc of the mozzarella sticks, like the whole time. It would be, fuck yeah, mozzarella sticks. I love this.
Mm-hmm,
This mozzarella, great. That's number 2. Mozzarella stick number 3. Okay. Mozzarella stick 4. I don't know about ordering these mozzarella sticks. And then the final mozzarella stick, I was like, I shouldn't have ordered mozzarella sticks.
You can leave that one uneaten most of the time. I mean, it is a function of, on the one hand, the mozzarella sticks are getting cold. That's making every bite worse than the previous bite.
True.
Which is never what you want from any food. But also, yeah, it's like you need a bite. Like, you need to share your mozzarella stick appetizer with someone else. Like, nobody needs 5. It's too many. It's going to just disappoint by the end.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I feel.
This is a metaphor.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Ball Pit. Which is like, I'm playing it and I'm like, I'm having a good time, but I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't fulfill me spiritually.
Wow.
Wow,
I hate to hear that. That's always, I mean, I don't know how a game that is currently sitting at 4,700 reviews on Steam and overwhelmingly positive consensus could not spiritually fulfill you. What are you looking for, Ben? Like, literally just going to Steam and it just says under the English reviews, perfect?
This is, there's all this discussion over, like, how difficult it is to be in games media right now, and especially like in reviews and all of that. And but I'll tell you, even at the height of the gaming press, there was other than Scorpia, there wasn't ever a critic that rated things on if it spiritually fulfilled you.
Shout out to Scorpia.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's odd. Like, it's a game. Like, it has like that kind of addictive, easy roguelike loop because you've never played like Vampire Survivors or any of these.
No.
You should try one of them just to see.
Well, I never tried a roguelike until Hades, really, and I really dug it. So it's possible that some of these genres I've chosen to ignore could actually be good, and like maybe my preconceived notions that ran counter to millions of other people were simply wrong.
You should just try out Vampire Survivors because it's not like it is remarkably easy. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know Vampire Survivors is a rogue. Like, I don't know what you like. It's a survivor's life.
Yeah, that's right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a game that spawned a genre.
Yeah, I mean, it's again just a genre I haven't touched, like roguelikes. Let me ask that question. I have an important question.
Yeah.
Are the survivors vampires, or have they survived vampires?
Well, I think until they added the Castlevania DLC, I don't even think it had vampires in it.
Ben, you are selling me on this. If they don't sparkle at the sunlight like Edward Cullen, I am not playing that game.
What if it was Werewolf Survivors and they all had like just the most incredible bodies?
Have I ever told you about
shredded?
Have I ever told you about like how Taylor Lautner lives on in our home?
He lives in your house?
He does. Well, it's been tough times since
is he like Roy in that episode of The Simpsons?
No, like we have a phrase here at the Morissette household, which is anytime someone is walking around in jeans but has not put on their shirt yet, we call it werewolfing it, because like in all of the promos for Twilight, Jacob was always depicted, walking around in jeans and no shirt. So
you should let me mix it up for you if you want to add one.
Yeah.
Let me punch up. Let me go into the Morissette family writers room.
Okay, please.
You could also call it Smallville DVD Season 1 ing.
I don't know. I feel like werewolf and it's a little catchier.
No, I really think Smallville DVD in it Season 1 really just rolls right up the top.
I feel like that requires a lot more explanation.
No, I don't think so.
Just werewolfing it, man.
What have you been playing, Jess?
Oh gosh, Ben, I feel like I have to talk about because I can't imagine this is ever an episode. I'm not burning through future content.
Are you going to talk about? I wanted you to talk about this. Is this the game you played last night?
Yes, I want to talk about.
I really wanted you to talk about this.
Oh gosh, I want to talk about a point-and-click adventure for the Game Boy Color, which is already a weird thing to exist. The fact that there are multiple point-and-click adventures on the Game Boy Color is bizarre to me. But last night,
at least one of them is good.
At least one, the Scooby-Doo one, quite charming. Really good stuff. Classic Creep Capers. I highly recommend it. But last night I played the new Addams Family series, which was based on a Fox Kids Addams Family reboot, a live-action reboot that ran from 1998 to 1999. I think it was one season. This game doesn't come out until 2001.
Oh.
But that's wild, right? Like, the game comes out 2 years after the series has ended. So already that's a bad media tie-in, I feel like. But it's a point-and-click adventure where you mostly play as Pugsley, walking around the Addams Family mansion. The thing is, when you're walking around there, you start to realize this mansion, it's full of maniacs, Ben. Those Addamses, they're kooky.
Yeah. They're ooky, even.
Yeah. You know how, like, when you look outside, Ben, and it's a rainy day, like, what do you think?
Terrible. Hate it.
Yeah, it's going to spoil my activities. It's just going to be a dreary vibe. Like, I can't go out and, like, go to the park. And
You're stealing a Ben and Grayson bit. I want to be clear.
Yeah,
this is a bit that Grayson and I can do for literally hours.
Ben, welcome to the mind of Mencia. I just stole your awesome joke. That's right. No, but I mean, it's the Addams Family. We all know what the Addams Family is. And boy, this game, like Ben, you watched me play a good chunk of it.
Terrible. I watched you play. I came in like 20 minutes in. So I saw, and well, first off, so there was I missed. So by missing the beginning, I missed. You said so. This comes out 2 years after it had already been pulled from the air.
Yes.
But you also kept making mention that it was like a translation. Did this come out in the U.S.? Like, what's the story there?
That's a great question. I can't find, like, when I go to my local game store to legally buy a purchased copy of this, I can only find copies of it that are from the European region. I'm not finding a North American release. And at the beginning, you have a menu to select language that has a British flag instead of an American flag as your choice. So I can only assume this is a European exclusive. And the only walkthrough I could find of it on the entire internet was written in Spanish, which I used Google Translate to translate for the stream.
And where were the developers?
That's a good question. I actually didn't look that up. I mean, that's the answer to the question. Let's see, Addams Family. I'm sorry, it's new Addams Family series. The game is called Series as part of the title, that's funny too. Like that you include the series in there.
It was developed by
Seventh Sense.
Yeah, Seventh Sense, which I've never heard of them. It was published with Microids, which. Also, so I'm looking here, according to Wikipedia, it did come out, it says North America. It had a North American release, which, in fairness, doesn't necessarily mean that it came out in the United States, but it probably, like, Seventh Sense.
I'm getting the sense
game.
Italian developer. It's a spaghetti adventure, Western style horror game.
From the official, it was founded in 2001. Let's see here.
In Sicily.
I'm reading like this little bio of them, which is also very clearly translated, like because it has very strange grammar.
And honestly,
Board Game Geek of all places. But
I don't get the feeling that the translation was the biggest issue here. Like there were some poorly translated bits.
No, the translation was fine.
Yeah,
the
it's more just
okay.
This is sort of your classic lazily designed adventure game that has a fair number of moon logic puzzles and like horrible arcade sequences, like in an engine that's not built to handle it.
Were really where it just kind of like lost the plot because
it could have been breezy without them, but the presence of the arcade sequences really just dragged it to a halt. But I finished it. I mean, it was not good. I mean, I wanted it to be good. An Addams Family point-and-click adventure game is a great idea.
I really think, yeah.
And there's a lot you could do with that. And also, I think it's funny that you would choose to star nobody's favorite member of the Addams Family, Pugsley.
Now, was that true before the movie? Because like Pugsley, I watched the first Addams Family movie last year, and like Pugsley and Wednesday don't get a ton to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell that little kid Christina Ricci has it.
She's going places. Yeah, right away.
Like they both they don't get a ton.
Yeah.
But like you could tell right away, like this little kid has some sort of like she's really funny. Like
and they give her the ball and let her run with it in the sequel. Like that's when she gets her shot. Yeah.
In Addams Family Values, they're like, oh, you're really talented. Like here's a whole plot.
Yeah,
it's
but imagine
really
that poor Pugsley kid, like whatever actor played Pugsley. Nobody knows his name. It's not even an IMDb. The kid that plays Pugsley, like you're in a cast with Raul Julia, Angelica Houston, Christopher Lloyd and Christina Ricci as a young phenom. And it's like, you're supposed to somehow stand out in that cast. It's like, that poor kid. I mean, not only was he underserved by the script, but you're gonna have to like act your butt off to get seen in that production.
He's a retired, like he was just a child actor. He retired it. He probably.
You think we can get him on the podcast to talk about this game?
He's a Teamster, according to Wikipedia.
Oh, so we can afford him.
Yeah, no,
definitely
he's not going to work for free. He's going to absolutely be like, all right, yeah, my time is valuable.
Yeah. He's going to take constant breaks. I don't even really understand. This is all just jokes I've heard in adventure games that I'm just repeating now.
But anyway, we also have an email. QuestPodcast@gmail.com. It's from our friend Martin. And the subject line is Steely Dan.
I'm gonna grab a drink. How long is this email? How many paragraphs?
It's a couple of paragraphs.
Go ahead.
Hello, greatly enjoying the podcast still. Keep up the great work. On the last episode, the subject of Steely Dan was brought up, and as another middle-aged white man myself, I have some opinions on this. I'd like to.
Out of me, you, and Grayson, I should be the one with opinions about Steely Dan.
I'm sincerely quite surprised here, Jess. That this is just the thing that you missed. Grayson
I'm too big into Foghat.
Grayson suggested you start your Steely Dan journey by listening to Asia. I get that. Asia is definitely one of, if not, the best album by them. But depending on where you're coming from, I can see how perhaps it's not the best starter album. It wasn't for me. You see, it's very smooth. It might be the group's smoothest, which is saying a lot, because being smooth is Steely Dan's whole thing. When I started listening to Steely Dan, I was used to listening to music that's a lot less smooth. I love this email, by the way.
This is amazing. This is the best email we've ever gotten. Like, I wasn't here for it at first, and now I'm really locked in.
And I found Asia a bit too much at first. So you're listening to Asia and thinking to yourself, boy, this might be a little too smooth for me as well. And my suggestion is to listen to Steely Dan's debut album, Can't Buy a Thrill. To me, this album's a lot more raw and rough around the edges, while still offering the catchy yacht rock style Steely Dan is famous for. I think it's fair to say all of Steely Dan's work can be placed on a Can't Buy a Thrill to Asia spectrum. If you look at it like this, then the coming in from either end makes sense in a way. Cheers.
That's an amazing email.
I loved that email.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. Sometimes with certain bands, you don't want to introduce like somebody to their best work. Right? There are better entry points sometimes than the very best work. You want to save something for someone to appreciate down the road. It's like when people come to me and I say, like, don't start your Limp Bizkit journey with Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water. Oh, yeah? You're going to like see some of their other work first and then like reward yourself down the road with that classic. So yeah.
So Jess, I'm gonna take now this email has spurred me to admit something that I did this week.
Okay, you went to a Limp Bizkit concert.
Yeah. I this week when I got paid, I ordered a vinyl player and nice speakers.
Oh, Ben, I love this for you.
And I was like, and I knew like when I hit purchase, I was like, this is potentially the beginning of something. Now,
it's also almost like you just hit like a $10,000 purchase button, because that's going to be like the lifetime investment in this purchase. Sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you made a huge commitment. It's like you chose to have a child.
Yeah, this is a thing. Now, there is absolutely the possibility that this becomes like a kind of a dilettante style like collection hobby where I'm like, I think I might be into this, and then like, you know, this vinyl player and the nice speakers just sit on the shelf, you know, after having played like a record or two.
Mm-hmm.
But Like, there was a certain amount of gravity that I felt when I bought it, because I was just like, this is, to your point, Jess, it's like I'm spending more money.
Yes. And you will also mark a period of your life before and after clicking that purchase, I feel like. Because now you're a vinyl guy. I can see you right now in a record shop flipping through, but oh, Miles Davis. And like grabbing that and taking it home.
I mean, talk about smooth.
That's smooth. That's smooth, baby. That's brisk, baby. You remember those great commercials?
You want to know what? I did listen to Asia this week before I got this email, and you know what? I did think it was a little too smooth.
Just simply a little too smooth.
Yeah. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back, but maybe go to the living such as I do in the great city of Chicago. There's an embarrassment of record stores, and like it's also the second that I purchased this player, like I let a couple, like two real vinyl heads friends of mine know, and I got just completely bombarded with, it's like, oh well, because like in a city like Chicago, there's a fair amount of record stores, and also in like the surrounding suburbs as well, and so it's just like, oh well, like there's this place and there's this place, and actually, like I actually got like this incredible thing at this one place. Like, you have to go here. You have to go here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So not only is it this, but it's also, it's like it's now like that I have to like schlep all over the fucking place. Like I'm gonna have to, like, because it's not just going to one record store.
No, that's not what it's about at all.
It's about going to like, at least a half dozen.
When I was growing up, my parents collected Depression-era glassware and built a large collection of a very specific pattern and color. So they have like the full like 8-piece setting of this, and they did it in era before eBay, and traveled like all around the place, like to, destinations, 4 or 5 hours away sometimes, to go to antique shops to look for this sort of stuff. And my dad, I once asked, he's like, why do you collect this glassware? Like, what's so appealing about it? And he said to me, son, sometimes a hobby is just an excuse to spend some money and spend some time and feel good about it. Yeah. And I feel like vinyl is the perfect example of that sort of hobby. There's something to be said for just like, what I'm doing this Saturday? I'm hitting a couple of record stores, and that's going to be a good Saturday morning for me. Ben, you have taken your first step into a wide new universe.
I think it was also part of, it's like, I moved into this new home, and
been throwing swinging parties constantly.
Yeah, and I'm the fishbowl's out, the keys are in the
I just
bowl.
meant like swinging like in the 60s, so like in a
no, I'm throwing swingers parties.
Oh, like the upside down pineapples the whole bit. Yeah.
And but like there was a little switch that flipped in me when it's like, all right, well, now this is like a home, and I'm gonna like, live here for a long time, most likely. And so it's like there's a little part of me that was just like, okay, now you have to like, find little things to do with it.
Little pieces of foil to line your nest with.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta magpie it up here. I mean, listen, you have, and you've been like, and that's the thing with collecting, is that like once you get one thing, then you have 20. Like it like I'm prompting you to talk about, Jesus Christ, Jess. Just for the record, so his prompting us to talk about his growing collection of like old computer games. Which, when did you buy the first one, Jess?
Oh gosh, I think I got like Christmas 2024. My wife got me a copy of King's Quest V for the NES.
Yeah, and so that is
Less than 2 years.
less than 1 year.
This is 2023. 2023
okay,
is Christmas
okay,
23. I can't know how years work. So, but it is less than 2 years now.
Yeah, and now like Jess craned his camera over to his shelf, and it's all. And here's the thing: you're not like, you're not playing those.
No. I just like to look at them. And,
Yeah,
I
they're
don't buy. I try not to buy any other physical media. Like I don't buy books anymore. I do ebooks for everything.
I love having books. That's definitely
Yeah.
a collection thing.
I have like so many at my office at work. I've just kind of like tried to like reduce my physical media footprint.
Oh
But
no,
then it's
this
like-
is.
This is the opposite of that. This is the opposite of that. But then
Yeah.
I've got like these dumb pieces of physical media I can't even use for anything. But man, I like looking at it. Like I'm looking over there right now and I'm looking at the Return to Zork box. And I'm thinking, I'd like to return to Zork.
Would you really?
No, not really. I played like 10 minutes of that game. I just saw it used for like $10 one day. I was like, I can't pass up Return to Zork.
I've definitely. I'm going the opposite direction than you on physical media. I have
I think that's the wiser choice.
a 4K UHD player. I'm moving back to getting like Blu-rays. And
I can see all your laser discs in the background.
I've got all my laser discs. This is the second time that laser discs have come up today. Jess, if you believe that.
They're making a comeback. They're bigger
making a
now than
comeback.
ever.
Anyway,
You got your projection television, your laser discs. You're ready to go. Your 8-point wired speakers.
So we've talked about music and food and collecting for about 40 minutes or so. So why not get to the subject of today's podcast, which is we're going to talk about Microprose's adventure game, Return of the Phantom. Speaking of return, Return to Zork. Do you think that they were referencing Return to Zork when they made Return of the Phantom? Because I believe that came later. I'd have to double check Moby Games. What's up?
Ben, do we have to talk about that?
Well, you see, it's actually really interesting
I mean-
because Return of the Phantom adds a brand new tale to the legendary tale of the Phantom of the Opera. He returns, you see.
I mean, first of all, it's not October anymore. We don't need it. Well, maybe it's October forever. I take that back. But I mean, we've done a bunch of spooky. I'm still spooked out from talking about Phantasmagoria last episode.
I'm still spooked out from talking about Maniac Mansion. That terrified me.
Oh God! I mean, can you imagine a mansion full of maniacs? How terrifying that would be!
I can imagine one maniac. I can imagine two maniacs.
But imagine if there was a third maniac.
Okay, that's too much.
Yeah, that's right. That's one. But I mean, Ben, I respect what you're trying to do here. And I mean, I think I've been very clear throughout the history of this podcast that I respect you as a co-host.
Uh-huh.
But this topic is just horse shit.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Return
sorry.
of the Phantom?
Yeah, no. Ben, let me tell you what we're doing. I'm calling an audible. Get ready to change the title of this episode.
Use code QuestQuest5 on audible.com. I recommend Phantom of the Opera by Edgar Dumas.
Yeah, sure.
Mark? Was that who wrote it? I don't remember.
We're trying to be a little bit more organic with like our advertising. I mean, that's why I'm not mentioning right now that Ben is wearing a blue apron.
Yeah.
He just is. Like that's not. I mean, you use code Adventure Boys for 3 free meals, but all of them have to be lunch.
It's it was written by Gaston Leroux. Totally wrong.
No one writes like Gaston. I always do say that.
All right, fine, Jess. What do you want?
You know what, Ben? I'm sick of your petty grudge against the Space Quest series, and I am telling you, we are going to talk about Space Quest 1 the Sarian encounter this
Is
week
there any particular reason that you're really feeling Space Quest
because
lately?
it's such a good game. But
Mm-hmm.
also this month, Ben, is an auspicious month. The month of November 2025 is the 30th anniversary of Roger Wilco's Virtual Broom Closet, my Space Quest site that I launched way back in 1995. It launched in November, and now it's turned 30 years old.
Jesus
And
fucking Christ.
I mean, that makes me older than like Google, CNN.com, New York Times hadn't launched a website yet. I mean, you really, to put this in context, I mean, it's like really early web and has been up continuously since then. And you know what? Was frequently updated for 10 years and has just sat for 20 until by the time you're listening to this, I've updated the Virtual Broom Closet to celebrate the 30th anniversary. It's really something else. The reviews are pouring in, I'm sure, and people are like, Jess, what a gift you've given to the community. But I'm kind of hyped about Space Quest. Ben, I think we should talk not just about Space Quest 1, but also Space Quest 2, also Space Quest 3. And then for the next 5 to 6 weeks, depending on if we give like fan games each their episode, I'm thinking sometime around January, we can move on to talk about a different Sierra game.
Well, I'll never play Space Quest 4. That's a promise. Or talk about it anyway. I have played.
Well, there you go. There you go. But Ben, there it is.
Now, here's a question. Is this the only one that holds on to the original theme all the way through?
Larry really holds on to that theme. Yeah, Larry. Does Quest for Glory hold on to its march all the way through?
Yeah, but I'm like from like AGI. Like Quest for Glory, like at that point you have like it's playing on ad lib. Like you have like that.
It's more like real to start with, so it's easier to keep using it.
Right.
Yeah, but no, this one, Larry, I would say, because King's Quest, I mean, it had green sleeves.
It has green sleeves, and they up with green sleeves after what, 2?
Yeah, I think so. And it
3 has that really great theme.
Yes. That's very like minor key and very moody. It's like it's a great thing. But this is composed by Mark Crow, one of the 2 guys from Andromeda. He's the artist on the games, and also
I didn't know
wrote this
that
theme
he
song.
composed this.
He did. This is a Mark Crow joint.
Did he do other music for the other?
I don't believe he did. I think I don't know that he fancied himself a musician necessarily.
This might have been one and done. Little tune.
Yeah, it's got like for a 3-voice speaker, that's like got layers going on to it, right? That's the Space Quest theme. I love it. Who doesn't love it? It's Space Quest 1, baby.
So yeah, we're talking about Space Quest 1, 1986.
Yes.
The year I was born.
Yeah. I played this game the following year in 1987. So yeah.
And so,
did you play it the year you were born, Ben?
I did play it.
You probably don't remember.
No, I remember it clearly. We played it on our PC Junior.
Okay.
So this is, in preparing for this podcast, like spoiler, I did not prepare for Return of the Phantom. But
he's like angrily like wadding up notes and throwing them in a trash can right now. He's trying to play it cool for the listener, but I know the truth.
But when I was preparing for it, I did have the thought, and I've never really thought about this, but this is the first non-King's Quest. Like there are other AGI games, there are other adventure games that Sierra made, but Space Quest is the first quest after Kings. Like it is, or rather, it's the second quest.
Yeah, you have like Black Cauldron thrown in there, I think, in between
Donald
the 2.
Duck's Math.
Yeah, it's the stuff like that. But yeah, in terms of like, we are doing another quest game. Space Quest is going to be their first attempt to like directly build on this Quest franchise. It's like the beginning of using that as branding for the entire adventure line. Here comes the Space Quest, originally titled Star Quest
I didn't
during
know that.
develop. Yeah, worst name.
Yeah. But then, but if they kept it as Star Quest, they probably would have been able to keep Star Quest on the box in big text as opposed to what, the Cincinnati Children's Museum? What's the
Indianapolis Children's
Indianapolis
Museum. Yeah,
Children's Museum that like it's like, hey, we trademarked Space Quest. You could use it, but you have
yeah.
to put another name on the box bigger.
Yeah, it's like we have a plywood space capsule that kids go in on field trips and push fake buttons on, and we called that exhibit Space Quest, and we trademarked it, you idiots.
It's kind
So
of shocking that they didn't trademark that sooner, unless like unless the Children's Museum already had it like in 1986.
yeah,
So I'm gonna set up this series because we are going to talk about Space Quest for this month.
that's a
Uh,
big commitment, Ben.
yeah, we're going to talk about Space Quest for this month. I'm going to position myself uh pretty early here, which is that Space Quest never, like, of the quests or like adventure series, so like expanding outside of Sierra, was never quite not even quite, it was never my series.
Mm-hmm.
And I like uh I it, it I think what kind of bounced me on it, like, other than like the first one I played was 5, which also terrified me because of the
Oh, it's
melting
got the
face kept
Pucoid.
part.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
um but none of the, like, as a kid, when I heard comedy, like this is a comedy game,
Mm-hmm.
I would think of something that was a lot more like just straightforwardly like punchline and goofy and silly and like joke. And so that would be Monkey Island 2 on, because 1 is actually
It's
pretty
pretty sparse.
dry too.
Yeah.
Um
And I don't know if Space Quest ever becomes that until Space Quest 6 maybe starts
Space
to
Quest
edge
6
that way. It's
is
jokes.
straightforwardly the jokiest, and that's
Yeah.
because it's written primarily by like a former stand-up,
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
Like, so, I hear there's this like kind of sci-fi comedy adventure game, and I'm like, okay, cool. That sounds like a lot of like that will be silly and funny. And like it has never like um I it always kind of bounced off of me because the humor of it like didn't quite click for me.
Have
And
you played Space Quest 2?
we'll get there next week.
Okay. Okay. Because I can't
um
wait.
uh
I can't wait.
what I realized, when I was preparing for this today, because I was thinking, and I was like, in Space Quest 1, I don't even, I like, there's a couple like little sequences where I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. Um but one thing that I realized, like, so Space Quest 1, it begins, this tune is playing, and you have a bunch of text. It hits you with a whole bunch of
Yes.
exposition, and it's just a bunch of like sci-fi nonsense. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like there's this planet and the stars dying and blah blah blah, and there's absolutely all of this is played completely straight. Um like it's just straight, like it's like there's this thing and there's this thing, and it's just like, okay. And I was like playing this today. I'm just thinking to myself, like, all right, like, so no jokes, like my opinion is not, and it's a very kind of like traditional kind of boring sci-fi setup. It's like they have to find another star, or
Yeah.
like a thing to save their star or whatever. And then it goes, and there was a ship that was sent there to solve this problem. You're the janitor, and you're not good at it. And then I was
Yes.
like, oh, okay, I get the joke. Like it takes it's a much more wry game, like where
Hmm.
it's just more like the joke is, at least the way that I like it clicked for me, was it's like the joke is that you shouldn't be in this situation and that's it, right? Like, is that it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're just like an unlikely hero. Yeah. You're a, like, at some level, the beneficiary and the victim of fate, right? You've just kind of been, just found yourself through sheer happenstance surviving this attack by the Syrians. And now you're kind of somewhat committed to saving the day. Like you're sort of bumbling forward doing that, and I think that's interesting. Comedy, especially in Space Quest 1, I feel like, as you said, it's not necessarily a joke forward kind of game. I mean, there's certainly some sarcastic descriptions and bits of dialogue and stuff like that, but it's not beating you over the head with direct references to other popular sci-fi. I mean, some of it's there. I mean, you're crash landing on a desert planet and doing desert planet-y sort of stuff, but it's not a Star Trek spoof. It's got elements of Star Wars going on, but it's not a direct
Yeah,
riff on
very,
Star Wars.
like, just a very light touch of that, which is interesting
Yeah,
for nerds of that era, that they
it
didn't like
is.
that there
Yeah,
isn't like a Princess Leia,
exactly.
you know.
In fact, there won't be a woman in this series for several episodes, really. Uh, yeah, this one does not pass the Bechdel test at any
how
point in its history.
how did so 1987.
Yes,
So your first game is King's Quest 2.
yes. Second Sierra game is going to be Space Quest 1 on my 10th birthday.
Okay, so it's your 10th birthday.
Yeah. And to
Um,
set this up, I have no idea Space Quest even exists. I don't know. I don't even know there's a company called Sierra. I just think that's the word that you type into a computer to make it play a game,
okay.
basically, at this point. So I have, like, this arrives in a box on my 10th
And
birthday.
it's a very handsome box.
Oh,
Like
it's a beautiful box. I
the
had the all black version, like the
yeah,
grid, rather than like the ship and the papercraft
yeah.
looking one.
The Space Quest one, which again is not screaming comedy. Like
No.
it is
Mhm.
screaming space adventure. Like,
Exactly. And I think that for me, that's what I took this game to be. Like, I got the idea that, like, you know, we're a janitor in this game, but I think I took that as a kid, not knowing this was supposed to be a comedy, really, just knowing this is the new game I'm playing. I think I took that more as like a story of like the unlikeliest hero and kind of proceeded toward the game from there. Like for me, Space Quest 1, I think when I played it originally, it's like this is a fairly serious space adventure with some funny bits thrown in because I don't think I knew it was supposed to be selling me as a comedy. And I was a 10-year-old, so you know, I was not exactly a astute scholar of media.
it- uh like I mean, and I think the other place where the comedy comes from, and this is, it kind of underlines that you're the unlikely hero, is like this is the best thing in the Space Quest games, correct? Like the deaths, like that's it,
Yeah,
right? Like
generally speaking,
that's
yeah,
really, and that's like, it's like Lemmings, like
yeah,
it's the joy in it
mhm,
is like, seeing like the various ways that Roger gets like completely destroyed or like, vaporized or sliced in half by a
yeah,
laser or asphyxiated or like hilariously sent to Daventry or,
yes, yeah. And I
and
mean, is it fair to say if this series has like a legacy in the broader adventure genre, maybe that's it? Like turning death into, rather than like a punishment for the player, like, so, but even then, like some of the Infocom games had fun with the idea of like getting eaten by a grue and tried to, it's like it's a game over, but they tried to add a touch of levity to some of that. So maybe even there, I mean, yeah, but I think it is one of the defining traits. I mean, that's one of the big things that's going to set it apart from certainly King's Quest, where death was random but seldom particularly entertaining. It could be a little bit more frustrating. The idea with a good Space Quest death is hopefully even though you may have to restore at least once more, that maybe you got a little chuckle out of it, if nothing else.
Yeah, like, so that was a big question I had for you, which was when, like, yeah, so you played as a 10-year-old. I was sincerely like curious, like, were you playing it and just like, cracking up like constantly?
Well,
Like,
I think I've talked about this before on my streams. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the podcast, but for that 10th birthday, I had several of my friends over for a little party, and at least one of them has written a letter into the podcast
oh
before.
yeah, Andy.
Andy, if
Yeah.
you're listening, shout out to Andy. But a couple other friends too were with me, and uh, I was one of those kids. Like I constantly had tape recorders around,
Yeah.
cassette recorders,
Yeah,
and
me
I
too.
like to record just random stuff. Like I would
Yeah.
record myself just like doing little one man plays into it. I would record music off the radio. I would
for
just
sure.
record my parents' conversations for no reason. Just the thought of recording something. And before we played Space Quest 1 for the first time, I popped in a cassette and just started recording it. And what I wouldn't give to find that cassette today. There's a decent chance it's somewhere in my parents' attic. But what a weird little treasure that would be. But, I listened to it a few years after that, like probably in the mid 90s was the last time I saw this cassette. And we were having a good time, like solving these puzzles together. Sort of a collaborative, we're all huddled around the monitor, try this, try that. And certainly
Jess, you
some of
have
the
to find this tape.
yeah, I know. This would be the best tape. I mean, like literally, this is internet gold, right?
This is like what
This is
I
my
think.
origin story.
I think what. So all right. So I'm with like, if you'd be okay with it, I'm putting like a flag in. This might be a fun thing to do, like a commentary, like play at least, maybe not all of it, like, because that would
Mhm.
probably be kind of boring, but like, you would pick like a couple clips, and then
Yeah.
maybe we have like a little bit of an
Oh, I would
episode,
love to have that. I would
like
love to get a hold of that.
we play, and then like, I hit pause, like, and you're just like, all right, so yeah, that's
What you're gonna be
Trevor.
shocked by is when 10-year-old me sounds exactly like this, and you're just like, "This is so bizarre."
This incredible baritone for a little
That's right.
boy.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we were having fun because we were a bunch of 10-year-olds sitting around playing a game that occasionally has like a fart joke or something in it. But for the most part, it was I don't think we knew this was meant to be a flat out comedy. So it's kind of like, we're taking this seriously. I got to get off this shit before it blows up. And I've got to get out of the desert before I die of thirst or something eats me. And yeah, in that sense, it was, yeah, I think that in some ways, this is part of what makes Space Quest 1 pretty interesting. I think by the time you get to Space Quest 2, Scott Murphy is the primary writer here, is really leaning into more of that, how much like sarcasm and how many $10 words for comedic effect can I fit into some
Yeah.
of these descriptions. So it's becoming a little jokier by that point. Space Quest 3, 4, and 5, I think, is only going to continue to ramp up the amount of comedy until 6, like you said, is just a straight up, this game exists to serve you jokes when you click on things.
Yeah. Like, I would, like, probably the, would you say that like the most, so walk through, because Space Quest 1 is very episodic.
Yeah, it's definitely,
Um
it's got a nice little 3-act structure, if you will.
like it is like, so walk us, like, what are each of the segments, because we
Okay.
could easily, because it's a very short game, you could
It is.
finish it pretty quickly.
You could probably be playing it as we finish recording this podcast.
Yeah,
and be
you
toward the
actually
end, but
probably could finish the game, and I'm
yeah.
talking like I'm sure like the speed run time for it is
Oh,
like 6 minutes or some shit.
That's
But
right. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be speed running, but I would be fast running.
yeah,
I'd be speed walking. I'd be like in the mall, just like speed walking my
yeah,
Space
yeah,
Quest.
exactly.
But yeah, I mean, Roger wakes up on the Arcada. It's been taken over by the Sarians. They've stolen the star generator, a device with the power to create or destroy, kind of like the Genesis device from Wrath of Khan. He escapes in a pod. He crashes on the planet of Corona. He eventually makes his way to the settlement of Eulent's Flats, where he acquires a droid and a ship. He takes off to intercept the Sarians aboard the Deltar. He infiltrates their ship and eventually finds the star generator, sets it to self-destruct, and escapes to be awarded the Golden Mop for all of his heroic efforts.
So yeah, so it's like, okay, so you have the Arcata section, like that's
Corona.
one
Yeah.
chunk, and then you have the first chunk on like on the planet.
Yeah, that's going to be your like killing the Orat,
Yeah.
getting the skimmer so you can reach the settlement.
And then you have then you have Eulent's Flats, which you had to explain to me.
I've explained this to so many people, and honestly, Ben, this is something that I only got in like the last like 7 or 8 years. This is I spent years writing about Space Quest on a website, and it never clicked for me that this was a flatulence joke. And I know there are listeners right now
That are
that
like,
just like
oh my
today
God.
I learned. Yeah, it's like Eulent's Flats, flatulence. It's
Eulent's
such a
Flats
brilliant
is a
name.
really good name.
It just sounds like a sci-fi place in a
It
desert.
does.
I mean, it's beautiful. It is a brilliant little piece of writing that went over my head for decades. But yeah, and then you get a ship, and from there, the last section of the game is the Deltar. So it's kind of like 3 acts, but I think that middle part you could kind of break down, into the acquiring the skimmer, and then what happens in Eulent's Flats once you get there.
And the I would say Eulent's Flats is probably like the most like joke heavy part of the game, right?
I think so. You get bits there like you go to the used ship dealer, and if you buy the wrong ships, they all have comedic ways that they don't work out for you. So there are lots of gags there.
Yeah, there's like the most like there's the like kind of slimy guy that that you have to kind of get the best value for your skimmer.
Yeah. It becomes like a stereotypical 70s pimp in the VGA remake for some reason.
We're gonna I'm saving discussion of the VGA version for the end because I do want to talk about that. And then you have in the bar that like the alien Blues Brothers, and they're actually blue, isn't that funny? And what is it, ZZ Top?
Yeah.
Like,
and apparently they got a little bit sued for that one.
They got a little sued, a tiny sue.
I mean, I think they probably got a cease and desist. I think that a lot of these lawsuits that like appear in wikis sometimes maybe weren't actual lawsuits so much as like, please take our band out of your game. And they're like, okay.
And and then there's like a robot, like you have to buy a robot there, and it's like a Toys R Us joke, right?
Yeah, Droids Be Us, I believe is
and that they also got a C&D on, correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Droids Are Us.
Yeah.
Which they renamed to Droids Be Us. I see.
Which is actually, I think, a better gag.
Yeah, I think Droids Be Us is like more straightforwardly a joke.
That's right. Otherwise, it's just like we're doing the same thing that they did. It's like we switched one of the words, which isn't exactly a joke structure.
Yeah.
Whereas Droids Be Us, that kills, baby. Just like the Big Boppers.
I was also I was also kind of thinking about this within like, so this is like the second Quest game, which the previous game to come out before, like the game that came right before this was King's Quest 3. So you have 3 King's Quest before this. You have the Black Cauldron, Donald Duck's Playground, just in terms of AGI games.
Yeah.
And like, I've been trying to put myself also in the mind of like it's completely different than all of those games. All of those games feature you like kind of wandering around like a fantasy wilderness, all of them.
Yes. A lot of green.
Lots of green forests. Like Black Cauldron has some really beautiful art, I
Oh,
believe, by Mark
yeah.
Crow.
Mhm.
But like it is very similar to like those other ones there. Um, and Space Quest like is very like the that first game is extremely different than all like the King's Quest games. The first two King's Quest and to an extent King's Quest 3 as well essentially just give you like this big open like world to explore and wander around, whereas Space Quest is more of these like tight little, as I said, like little episodes and
Working on timers too. Like when you say
timer,
tight, I mean, yeah, you're like you have
which
to get
is
off the Arcata.
a constant through the series. Like
Yeah, it
there
really is. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think what does 3 have a timer per se running on it? Not as
I'm not necessarily saying like timer in as
yeah,
much as
but just
you're
like the idea of like
constantly
time
in
segmented. Yeah,
like like in like Space Quest 3 you'll be chased by Arnoid. Like
yeah, that's
you're
right.
you're constantly under like a time-based pressure which
That's right.
doesn't exist in like I guess there's kind of a timer in King's Quest 3, but it's mostly there to irritate you.
Yeah,
Um
but no, I mean that is a constant. And I mean, you also see that too with the fact that Space Quest One begins a trend for this series, which is incorporating arcade sequences too,
yeah.
which was new for Sierra. I mean, guess what? Black Cauldron had the dodge some rocks being thrown down at you
Yeah.
segment, but
So they
Space
later
Quest with
brought back to Conquest of the Longbow.
that's right. And you know what? It was just as good then.
Yeah.
Because now it's from a worse angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the skimmer sequence adds this arcade element that was somewhat new for adventure games. In fact, so much so that in her review of it for Computer Gaming World, Scorpia
Mm.
was very critical of this and actually had a little
So she
sidebar.
did not find it spiritually
No,
fulfilling.
that's right. She has a sidebar in this review that's like, do arcade sequences have a place in adventure games? And her
No.
answer is no, no. That's she was the ultimate adventure game grognard. She is not going to stand for that.
The scammer sequence is funny because it's an arcade sequence like so you know there's this little flying thing you have to avoid rocks. I was better at it as a kid, and now I am
Oh yeah.
considerably worse at it. Like I'm terrible at the skimmer sequence now, which is pretty interesting.
Ben, let's tell ourselves that has to do with like DOSBox
It's
cycles
DOS,
and
it's
like
some VM.
yeah, because like I was really good at it as a kid too. Like I would actually, I mean, this is what kind of nerd I was. I had a saved game like right before the skimmer sequence, and sometimes I would just load up Space
Oh, I
Quest to
had
like
fun
play
with
the
the skimmer
skimmer
sequence
sequence.
as a kid too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now it's just like, oh, skimmer sequence, man. But yeah, I used to be good at it, and I can only assume I've played so many more video games, I must be better.
Yeah.
So clearly, it's an emulation bug.
Must be.
I need to
Now
drop my cycles. Every time I have a problem with DOSBox, someone's like, "Have you tried dropping your cycles?" So it's like,
how
probably I
about
need
you
to drop
drop
my
your
cycles.
fucking cycles? Leave me alone.
Get off your high horse.
Yeah.
Who are you to tell me about my cycles? Who are
Prick.
you, my spin instructor?
Um Now, do you have anything else to say about Space Quest 1986 before we talk a little bit about Space Quest, the remake 1991 question mark, I believe?
Yeah, I think something that just to, like follow up where we were at. I do feel like the structure of Space Quest
91, yeah.
is another narrative leap forward for Sierra. I mean, we talked about before how King's Quest 3 is this huge
Yeah.
advancement in terms of storytelling versus King's Quest 1 and 2, which have very little interest in storytelling. They have setup, but I don't know if they have story after that, really,
Mhm.
per se. Whereas King's Quest 3 adds quite a bit more narrative. And here with Space Quest, you're kind of seeing something closer to a 3-act structure. You're seeing something closer to a hero with 1,000 faces. Like you're really doing a game with a clear beginning, middle, and end, rising action, all that sort of good stuff that you expect from like a
I
a good plot at some
Yeah,
level.
I was also getting to this a little bit like in that it's very different. It has like, some of the like the art in it, like Mark Crow, who did like co-designed it and did the art, like he was a very he was very talented, especially like in AGI. And like the a lot of it looks very different, and in cool ways, like in kind of like the sequence where you see like that massive head that talks to you, like when
Yes.
you get to the end of the cave. um
That's the sound he makes.
and
Would you let me hit you one more time with that?
yeah, yeah. um the like that looks really cool, like
It does. And
there's
then that triangular door opens up in the completely dark room. And it's
yeah,
like, that for AGI, that's pretty cinematic, right? A
yeah,
giant head and like a sci fi door.
yeah. So yeah, like I mean, it looks, it's not at all like the games that came before it, or really the games that like it's not like Leisure Suit Larry, which also has a plot and like a little bit more like texture to the world that it's in, or like Police Quest One, which has like straightforwardly a plot, like
Oh, yeah.
by the master storyteller himself, James Walls. Um,
Sir Jimothy Walls. I mean, I feel like this applies to all of the 16 color Space Quest games. Like, Mark Crow's use of blues and purples to
yes.
create these sort of evocative
Yes.
booty scenes, and it's something he does beautifully in Black Cauldron as well.
Uh-huh.
Just like his use of purples and magentas and just that limited EGA palette in unexpected ways. I mean, it gives these games such a unique look and adds, I feel like, a richness that is missing from some of Sierra's other 16 color entries. I mean, it really reaches its peak by Space Quest 3, but we're not talking about Space Quest 3 today. That's off
Uh,
limits.
so Space Quest 1 was remade 1991. Point and click interface. Apparently, very little to none, no input by the two guys who designed it.
And if this is to be believed, like very little knowledge it was even being developed,
Oh,
which
really? That's wild.
that's what they've claimed, which I don't know. I mean, Sierra was still a relatively small company there in Oakhurst. Like, I don't know how people could be working on remakes of several early Sierra games down the hall from you, and you like wouldn't poke your head in and say, you do anything with Space Quest down here?
I
But
mean, I
they
would guess that they were just so head down on
could be. Yeah.
like Space Quest 4
Yeah.
and like the other stuff, because they worked on other, like, programmed and did
Oh
art
yeah,
for the other games
they would
too.
pull them over to whatever project needed help at any given time. That's sort of the Sierra model. It's like, if you're a programmer, even if you are a designer of a series like Scott Murphy, and we need programmers over on Police Quest, we're dragging you in. If Mark, we're going to need art somewhere. You're going to take a break from what you're doing and come help get this product out the door. That was definitely the model at the time. So yeah, and I mean, I do think that a lot of these Sierra developers were in kind of perma crunch mode for a lot of this early era. I
Great.
mean, yeah, that's right.
Um,
Look, I mean, look at the results. We're still talking about these games today.
but so the remake. So this is what I played first. I did not
Oh,
play.
interesting.
I did not. I played Space Quest 1 VGA first, and you know, like so one of the things that they did was like they did the art, and they and it says this, and this is how it was described, if I recall correctly, on the box itself. This is how it's described on the Wikipedia article. Quote, a 1950s retro futuristic B movie style. It doesn't really give me that.
You don't think?
I don't think the art's that like it. I think it could do that if it wanted to be B movie. I think it needed to turn it up. Like, it feels a little
Yeah.
subdued. Like, you say that to me and I'm like, I guess I see it. right?
Yeah.
But like I feel that they could have done a much honestly, it's
Yeah.
just that they could have done a much better job if that
Hey,
was
that's
the
probably the
intention.
answer. I mean, you get the nods toward a kitschy style of science
Yeah,
fiction,
there's some
like,
kitsch to it,
but
but
it's not consistent. Like, you see, like, the title scenes, like, the rendering of the logo and all that sort of stuff during the intro is very trying to capture that retro futuristic vibe. But then a lot of the character designs are kind of all over the place.
I'm
It's
literally
like it's
opening
going
it
for
up
like
right now
50 Space Diner is what the titles are going for. I
to
feel like,
see what the title. I don't remember what how the
yeah,
title looked. So,
no, it's pretty good. I always go to like sierrawallpaper.com for this sort of question.
oh.
For
Oh
home for
yeah, no it does.
Sierra
Yeah, it looks
screenshots.
like a diner. That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, that part of it, I feel like it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting for how people describe this. I think day glow might be a word that could be applied here. But yeah, visually, style wise, it's a little bit all over the place. I kind of like it. Like it, I think that it is a better looking game than some people would give it credit for. But yeah, I don't know if it quite pulls off what it says it's pulling off.
The it does add one joke that I really like, which is it has the instant replay when you walk into the
Yes.
laser and like that's fun. I think the big bright cheery colors of it like actually only like serve to further like make the confusion of why isn't this funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point. I mean, if anything, it feels more out of tone with
Yeah,
maybe because it feels like now things look super wacky, but this
yeah,
still isn't exactly a wacky game,
it looks
you know?
wackier than
Yeah.
it is as a game. And
Yeah.
it does have great music though, some really good music.
Oh, it does. Yeah. Ken Allen really rocks the soundtrack on this one. I mean, at the time, of course, I was listening to it on Tandy, but like the MT32 version of the soundtrack
Mhm.
is full of some real bangers. I mean, it's good stuff.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. It has the problem that all of the VGA remakes, other than Quest for Glory 1, have, which is that remaking a AGI first installment in the SEI engine, like, kind of reveals how, like, it's like, SEI games could support so much more. Like, could
Yes.
support like a lot of dialogue and a lot of character and a lot of like descriptions and a lot of other stuff.
Yes.
And the AGI engine, like maybe it could, but they didn't do that. I am like
Hmm.
that's just not, they didn't, probably didn't have the space,
Yeah.
so on and so on and so on. Like, and so it also, like, not only is there that distance between um the like, hey, like, I this looks like it should be making me laugh more.
Uh huh.
um it also, like, it looks like a Sierra, like, early to mid 90s point and click adventure, but it has as much gameplay as a like mid 80s Sierra
Yeah.
parser adventure.
And you like release it a few months after Space Quest 4, and it's hard for it not to like pale in comparison with a fully realized, more modern adventure game design. And it's just like, yeah, this is kind of a fresh coat of paint on what was a much simpler game at the time. I mean, it's better than Space Quest 4, but I don't want to like cause trouble.
Uh-huh.
I'm not just lobbing that out there as a grenade or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably agree with that. Anyway,
Oh man,
any
we'll never know
final
because
any
we're
final thoughts?
final thoughts. I liked Space Quest as a kid. This was a game that, I mean, no surprise, I was a science fiction nerd growing up. I hadn't encountered Hitchhiker's Guide yet, but I was deep into Star Trek and Star Wars by age 10. I mean, this was a game that was in a lot of ways made for me. And especially as much as I love King's Quest 2. I mean, King's Quest 2 was the greatest toy I ever owned when I got it, the year before. And getting a chance to now play in a genre that was more my style, science fiction. It was the game I was looking for at the time. I think this one does again in the AGI era. You kind of have games that are all over the place in
Right.
terms of both how you design an adventure game and just how you tell a story. Some are good at one and not the other. Some are not that good at either. And I think Space Quest does a pretty good job of offering you an adventure game and telling a clear story with some pacing, maybe a little better than a lot of these AGI entries.
All right.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Ben, you're not convinced. You're sitting here saying, like, nope, I don't like Space Quest still. Jess, you haven't convinced me.
I don't hate it. It's still like I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I think that's I mean, we talked about this before the stream. It's sort of weird for me. Again, part of the reason we're doing this, I guess the reason we're doing this is sort of in celebration of this weird milestone for my website of it hitting 30 years.
A 30-year-old website is crazy.
That's right. And please, if you're a listener who is younger than 30 years old, I don't think there's any chance we have any of those.
I don't think there's a single person.
If you are, please drop us a line at questquestpodcast.com and tell us what it's like to be younger than my website. But tell us what it's like to have grown up, since you were born in like 2019 or whatever. But
I don't think there's any listeners that young, unless they're just in the car.
There could be some unwilling listeners.
Yeah,
and if you're out there, shout out to all the kids who are in car seats in the back seat of their dad's car right now. We appreciate you too. You're goosing our metrics, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, because our platform does pick up everybody that's in the car.
That's why we're doing Zencaster. It is the only platform that does that. I don't even know how they do that. Do you think Ben? Do you think that's just something they tell us?
Yeah, I think they have eyes everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
That's why we can't get out of this contract. But no,
I think that especially the and I'll move. We'll talk about the other games when we get there. I think that Space Quest 1 is really interesting and intriguing within its context, but it doesn't do that much for me now, and that's fine. But I appreciate it as it's like, yeah, there was this really it looks great and it does something very different with narrative and gameplay, and some of that stuff doesn't work, and some of that stuff works great.
Some stuff like multiple solutions, like the ORAT spider droid thing. That's kind of neat for AGI. You don't see a lot of that in this era.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that in the King's Quest, but yeah, it gives you a little bit of something to mess around with it. And yeah, I don't know, because it's like I do love sci-fi, and I do have a favorite Space Quest. This isn't it. But
Space Quest 2, you'll hear it here next week.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting to me because Space Quest has, some real fans, and it's something.
It has historians.
Yeah. And it at least has one anyway.
That's right.
But I've never quite been able to see it in that way, that say when I was a bored teenager and just the sliders forum that I was on had mostly become empty, so I was just kind of casting around for forums to join. So I joined the virtual Broom Closets forum, and I was like, yeah, I like Space Quest too, but it was just mostly because my other forum.
You just want to be popular. And that was just, it was like a way to
listen. I just had to, I have poster's disease, and I just had to find somewhere to post.
Chronic, yeah, going back years at this point. Yeah, no, that's right. Isn't I mean that is a strange. I mean, yeah, but yeah, kind of what I was looping around to. I think I got sidetracked on this. For me, I think as time has gone on, I mean, I still love the Space Quest series. I mean, these are still games that I adore, and I love each of them in their own way. Even the parts of the games that aren't so great, there are things that I just have so much nostalgia for that really works for me. But I think in a lot of ways, we talked about this before stream. The Gabriel Knight series now is a series that vies for my favorite Sierra series. Quest for Glory has only grown in my esteem, I think, as I've had a chance to think
It's
back
Quest for Glory
on,
for me. No
yeah,
question.
yeah, no question,
Yeah,
if you will.
exactly.
Yeah, you couldn't tell this, but Ben did italics with his eyebrows
I did.
for the first part of that word.
Do
Yeah,
eyebrow italics.
yeah. Italics,
Yeah.
as those
Perfect.
are often called. Yes, nailed it. Could you edit that back in so it sounds like we said italics from the first place?
All right. Click, 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 click.
Okay.
And
From
done.
one. Okay. Well, welcome to the podcast, everyone. Are we going to do the whole thing over to get that?
Yeah.
Okay. No, but but Space Quest is still special to me. I can't help but feel nostalgia. I will say, we'll talk more about this, I'm sure, but going back and revisiting my website and looking at fan fiction I wrote when I was 18.
Oh, brother.
And things like that. It's like, I can't.
I don't
think
even
it's
know where I could find the fan fiction that I wrote when I was that age,
Yeah,
and I don't care to ever.
I mean, I'm
see it.
just shocked to see how smutty it was. I can't believe that was all that was
Filthy.
on my mind. Yeah, when I
Filthy.
was 18. Yeah, it's just constant, just slash fit.
Disgusting.
And I was slashing everybody.
Yeah,
you want to,
yeah,
you want to see that?
Santiago,
Yeah,
slashing drool,
slashing Tiny, the used spaceship salesman. Yeah, I mean, it was just slash.
slashing Jaime Lipschitz.
Yeah, slashing Vohal. Sledge's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did some slash fiction. That's I mean, that's yeah, I mean, it is nostalgic. It just takes me back. I feel like part of me feels like I'm that 10-year-old again when I play Space Quest 1. Then part of me feels like I'm that 18-year-old in a dorm room writing walkthroughs so I can launch some website. And I think that no matter what other adventure games I play, it's going to be hard for Space Quest to ever not have that special place in my heart.
When you wrote that walkthrough, did you refer back to that tape? To be like, oh yeah, wait, how did Andy figure this out?
Well, first of all, I mean, I don't know if Andy figured. I mean, I think I was doing
Andy seems like a smart guy.
I mean,
that
no
email that
question.
he sent us seemed pretty smart.
Yeah, I mean, he is a pretty smart guy. As always, if you've seen me play an adventure game in 2025, just assume I was worse at it in 1987. That's a pretty safe assumption. So yeah, I needed all the help I can get. But yeah, Space Quest 1 is so special to me because of that. I can't help but love this game because it reminds me of being a kid again in a way that all CR games and all games like Monkey Island and other stuff do, but Space Quest is always the one that's like, oh man, that was my childhood kind of balled up in one game.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to Quest the Adventure Game Podcast. If you enjoyed this, please leave us a 5-star review. 4-star, who the fuck does that with a podcast?
What are you trying to say? What
are you trying to say with a 4-star? Give me a break.
It's good, but it could be better. It's I'd rather you just didn't leave a review at all.
Don't leave a review. If it's
that's like an
4
insult.
stars, that's stupid.
I'd rather see 1 star.
Yeah,
1 star is taking a stand. I dare you, listener. Go out there and give us a 1-star review right now. Be a man. Do it.
And you can send us an email at questpodcast at gmail.com. Do you have a favorite Steely Dan starter album? Let me know.
Pretty soon we'll be spending a lot of time on here talking about Supertramp. So I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your favorite song by him? Space Quest 3?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Space Quest 3. Why didn't they? All right. No, that's a question for when we get there. All right. Thank you so much. Email, blah, blah. And join us next week when we talk about Return of the Phantom.